Hi everybody, it is Mama Rada. How are you? Shoo, it has been a hot minute. I didn't know if I was ever going to make a video again. So a lot's been going on. Obviously, I freaked out. Somebody tried to do something nice. It's just in this day and age, you can't really automatically believe that someone's trying to do something nice. And so thank you. I appreciate the gestures, very generous. I was stalked years ago, and it's just not something I talk about all the time. And the person threatened to delete me and my children. They sent emails and things, and the law enforcement were able to track them down per their IP address. It's actually someone who I had taken to an Herbalife meeting, and by the grace of God, decided not to take my life on the side of Alligator Alley all the way to Tampa. The other people that were supposed to come with us that day had canceled, and it was just me and this person. So, yeah, that was not cool. And after that, my husband was like, nope, not doing that anymore. So, anyway, they actually ended up deporting him back to the Middle East. So, Farouk. Anyway, so, my husband has a dangerous job. I've talked about how no one should know his identity. You should know what he does for a living. I don't want my videos to cause him issues where, they force him to retire or anything like that, cause any problems, because I'm a stay-at-home mom and he does everything. So he is our livelihood for our whole family. And, protecting our home is priority number one. I thought that I made that pretty clear in my videos. On top of the fact my husband's a dominant man, he's, certainly a more aggressive kind of a person in a good way. And having anyone come to my house could make things bad for me. But, obviously he believed me and trusted me. That I was totally shocked and surprised. I had no idea what was going on. And anyway, so it is what it is, and I still haven't decided if I'm just going to leave the internet forever. I had reactivated my other accounts to check on some things that were going on, and I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. I like connecting with my family that I have all over the world. I guess my husband was saying we have to VPNs and things like that. I don't know. I don't know if there is actually ever a protection to, stop someone from finding you if they really want to. And that's a little terrifying when you have a family. So, and even if you don't have a family, just for yourself, women are vulnerable. And I was on edge and paranoid for weeks after the event happened, because you feel like you're violated, your space is violated, your privacy. And I just never imagined that someone would take that much trouble, seemingly in a very good-natured, but again, you're dealing with a dominant man and a submissive wife in a very traditional setting. So the proper way would be to email or reach out and say, I'd like to do something nice for your family. Is that okay? How can we go about setting this up? Not just taking it upon yourself and making it happen, tracking down and searching and finding out all this information. So anyway, it is what it is. And for now, I do have some important things to say. I've had a lot of people reach out saying that they miss my videos, and I do, understand, and I do appreciate that very much. You guys were the reason why I kept going in the first place. I will reach back out to the Mama Rada fan page, wonderful couple, and tell them, the coast seems to be clear if they want to release those videos again, because I guess they're private right now. And I've had oral mouth surgery. I've had just all kinds of stuff going on. And then the worst is that my family member, who has been I don't want to say a thorn in my side, but something that I've been dealing with for like decades now. Severe alcoholic, and finally got to the point where she was dying. And we got phone calls, or I was getting phone calls from my mother, from her estranged husband, from her best friend, saying she's dying. She's yellow from head to toe. Her eyeballs are shiny fluorescent yellow. You know, not can I go talk to her? Can your husband go talk to her and get her to go to the hospital? And I said, well, I'll try. I'll ask him. And they were surprised that I had to ask him. And I said, you don't understand. My husband has known her since she was 9 years old. And over the years and years and years has gone way out of his way numerous times to try to help her. Chased her out in a hurricane, you know, all kinds of things. Drove her up out of state during COVID, all kinds of stuff, you know, and but to speak of the emotional toll that is taken on me trying to help her all these years. So I wasn't sure how he was going to respond, but because the situation was so dire, he agreed. He agreed very easily. I was very grateful to go over and speak to her. So we showed up. We didn't let her know that we were coming, and she hadn't left the couch for days, and she just was not doing well. Very, very swollen abdomen. She can't go to the bathroom well, all those kind of things. And it's a young woman. I mean, young in the aspect of dealing with such severe, life-threatening circumstances. You know, mid-40s, beautiful, 2 kids. You know. So anyway. So when she saw my husband, she was shocked, and she was like, wow, you actually came? And he talked to her very calmly, and said, you know, you need to go to the hospital. And she said, you know, I appreciate you, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she agreed that she'd go the next day. And he said, if you don't, this is what's going to happen, X, Y, Z. I'm going to take it to the next level, basically to force her to get help. And I tried to say something to her, just something very simple, and she snapped at me. You know, she just didn't want to hear anything I had to say. So literally, my husband saved her life. She went to the hospital the next day, and she's been in liver failure, end-of-life liver, whatever you call it, for 2 weeks now, and just the last couple of days was transferred to a hospital where they do transplant surgery. So then she had to go through the process of being approved. There's a lot of things that go into it. What state is your body in? Can your kidneys function? Are they going to make it? You know, psychologically, are you going to not drink again? Are you going to stay sober? Will you get psychiatric help? You know, she's been very confused about a lot of things because she's been detoxing during the time she's in the hospital. I've been there day and night for the last, you know, almost 2 weeks, and I'm so exhausted. And I've been through a range of emotions from anger to numbness to just devastated. And, you know, it's really difficult when you try to tell the people who are enabling her that she's not doing well, and they just keep paying for her life, but then have nothing to do with her personally. You know, they'll take phone calls, but they don't come see her. You know, it's been a year after they got her a new apartment. I haven't been back for a year, and this is where we're at. And every time they have to bail her out of situations, it's been progressively worse and worse and worse. So I guess the main thing that I wanted to say, other than moderation is the key of life for everything, you know, and alcohol is really a poison. So don't think it can't happen to you. And women are killing themselves. And she's never had a healthy, strong male. She's had strong men that whoop her behind, but she just keeps drinking, and it just gets worse and worse. You know, so that's, I don't know. Anyway, you need a strong man who sets the boundaries from the beginning. people don't like to make her upset. I don't know what it is. And wouldn't listen to the parents, wouldn't listen to the strange husband, wouldn't listen to her best friend, don't listen to me, and it took calling and asking for my husband, who most all of them think is, and have said in the past, he's too harsh, he's controlling, overbearing, very aggressive. But who do they call to save the day? My husband. And he showed up, and he did it. And he didn't have to raise his voice. It was just the power and authority that he brings with him. So go, Daddy, go. So I guess that's the main thing that I wanted to get across, is that a strong, dominant man can and will save lives. And I think that's been the same throughout history. And they don't even have to be in your immediate family. That's the power that he's got. That's incredible. So I'm very grateful to him. Everyone has said, please tell him thank you. It's still a long process. Oh, God. Really long process. And she's very grateful one minute, and then the next minute she's got an attitude. I mean, she's going to have to work on all that stuff. Her brain has never been the same after a certain point, between the alcoholism and abuse and, all these things.